Welcome to a special edition of the America First Warehouse weekly podcast. We're here just outside of New York City with the incredible crew of the America First Warehouse, Teresa, Helfrich, and Steve Schmid, who puts it all together. He is the house, what is Joe with the box call you? Department of Deep Thought. And then we have Professor Nick Giordano from the PAS report. You see him all over the place on Fox and others, and he's a professor, Suffolk Community College here. Great show. And I'm David Zere of Real America's Voice and the America First Warehouse. And I wanted to welcome to our broadcast today General Flynn, General Michael Flynn. Unbelievable that we have him with us today. And I had the honor of speaking after you in Broken Arrow at Clay Clark's event a couple of years ago. That was a packed house, about 5,000 people in the audience. I wanted to welcome you to the show, and thank you so much. An exciting event coming here to the warehouse, right, Teresa?
We are so excited. The buzz is definitely around Long Island for sure. People cannot wait to see the General.
Yeah, so General, how are you today?
I'm doing great, and we are on a down day. We're on a 35 city in 52 days nationwide tour showing this film, and we're on one of our down days because probably every 7 or 8 days we take a down day for maintenance of our vehicles. We're driving around the country in an RV, a couple of SUVs, and a small truck which carries all of our audiovisual equipment and some of our gear. But so today is kind of a down day. This is a good day for you guys to have caught me. I'm really excited. I tell you, we're really, really excited about coming into Ronkonkoma, and we have two showings on Mother's Day. And so the one thing that I will promise I will hug every single mother that shows up to the show. And mother spelled M-O-T-H-E-R or mother spelled M-U-T-H-A. Either one.
Yeah. General, tell it you're going to love the America First Warehouse. Joe the Box and his whole crew and his family here have an amazing venue for you. You're not going to believe it. We want to welcome you in advance. Tell us about your documentary and why did you make this film?
Yeah, well, first of all, this documentary is a massive piece of history. And the timing of it is really super important. Why now? And it's now because we are heading into probably the most consequential election in U.S. history. It is an inspiring story of survival, and what we do in this film is we take the audience through the lens of my persecution. And weave the story into a way where people can see how we actually fought back and how we decided through some really, really difficult times as a family. And I'm from I have 9 brothers and sisters. My wife has 7. So we have large families, and they really did pick the wrong families. But there was some really difficult moments, and there's some very intimate moments in this film. But through it, I think the ending, and I'll tease the ending a little bit. What we talk about is driving the darkness out of this country, and if my family and I can do that, the American people can do that, and that's why I believe that it's resonating so well right now with so many Americans around the country. The feedback that we have gotten has been remarkable. We just finished our 22nd city last night in Fairmont, West Virginia. We've been all over the country so far. We're going to be heading up into your direction here, your neck of the woods here in the next couple of days. And we really can't wait to get up to see you guys, because I know the America First Warehouse and Joe and team, all of you are just extraordinary patriots. This is a big message, folks, for people. In it, I do sort of drop and name names, and I walk through the deep levels of corruption in our government. This is a no holds barred. The name of the film is Flynn, Deliver the Truth, Whatever the Cost. And I will tell you that the emotion from the audience is very telling, not only in in how they feel at the end, but also how they feel during the movie itself. I mean, there's moments of of just, laughter. You can hear people crying in the film, or, in the audience during the film. I mean, it's that kind of an emotional story, and it's very powerful. We are humbled. We are humbled by the response, and we're going to continue to do this for as long as I can. And of course, this first tour around the country is really it's telling me again the sentiment of the American people that I've already felt. But the sentiment of the American people is enough is enough. We are fed up with the establishment political class, and we need to take our country back. And God help us if we don't get Donald Trump back in office.
Yeah, Steve, you have questions?
Yeah, so General Flynn, again, it's an honor. We very much look forward to having you here at the most patriotic venue in the country.
Probably on the planet.
Yes, on the planet. So, General Flynn, here at the America First Warehouse, we strongly believe that only God, our human agency, and the America First agenda can save our beloved constitutional republic. People talk about make America great again, and that really starts with saving America. You've said, as others have, that we're in the throes of a communist revolution. Some people feel that we are in the intimidation and demoralization phase, and we have to fight the good fight to overcome that. And I would submit that in that battle, you are a national treasure in that battle to save America. What are your thoughts that you can share with us briefly about this battle that we're in, right, in this communist revolution?
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, and really the words I would use would be isolate, divide, and conquer. And that's what these people are attempting to do. They isolated us, and they really did use COVID as part of it. I mean, the whole COVID madness. I mean, my God, the number of people that I have run into, again, in not only the Reawaken tour, which I think we've done 24, 25 cities for that, and now 22 cities with this tour. Isolate, divide, and conquer. If you go into a country, which I have gone into and planned for to take over countries, and also gone in and done this, you get in, you isolate, what we would call is you got to kill the king, right? In this case, you got to take Trump out of the equation, and then you divide families, you divide neighborhoods, you divide communities, and then you conquer. And I would say right now we are past the isolate and divide phase, and they are now in the attempted conquer phase. And we still have the resilience of the American people. And what I have learned, again, and I think I've learned it in spades because I do stay and I spend a lot of time with the people of in all these different venues that I attend and I go to. I mean, I love people. I love being around them and talking to them, and getting their feelings about what they're doing and what they are ready to do. And I tell you what the American people are ready to do is they're ready to take back their communities. They're ready to get back, and many of them are getting back. I mean, I love these moms who jump and run for school board, right? They go to these school board hearings and then they say enough is enough. I met a woman in Wichita who went in on a thing with a scheduled meeting with the superintendent of schools in Wichita, and to tell the superintendent she was sick of the stuff being taught in her children's school, and the superintendent patted her on her little mom head, patronized the crap out of her, and sent her on her way and told her she didn't know anything about education. She then spent the next 2 years rallying her community, and they took over. 7 women took over the school board, and she held the first meeting of the school board, of the new school board, and fired that superintendent. And when she told me that story, I could see the strength, not just the pride in her voice, but the strength in her being. And that's the kind of people that I am meeting with around this country. And God, is it firing me up? And that's part of what this movie is about. This movie is about, it's showing how a family was persecuted badly. I mean, badly. And we really take you inside a very intimate look inside the Flynn family. And you'll meet, people will meet my wife for the first time, my son, Michael, who, a lot of people just maybe have read about him in the news. And there's some other things that we do, that we highlight in there that I think are there's pretty funny moments, but there's also some very, very serious moments. And I want people to not lose sight of the fact that, yes, this is a takeover of the United States of America. And it began, the main meeting, and I talk about this specifically in the movie, the main meeting where they made the decision was on the 5th of January of 2017 inside the White House. And the meeting was run by Barack Obama himself. And all the likely suspects were in there. You know, Joe Biden, Clapper, Comey, Brennan, Rice, Sally Yates. I mean, all of them were in that meeting.
General,
And that's when
I want to ask you a question. After all those decades of service to this country, how did it make you feel when you were being targeted by the inside?
Yeah. I mean, 33 and a half years fighting overseas, preparing to fight overseas, spending 5 years of my life in direct combat operations. And the worst enemy that I ended up facing was right here at home in Washington, D.C. And of course, I describe in that, this is a fascinating part about this film. So I take the audience back, and and by the way, like Tucker Carlson's in it, Devin Nunes is in it. They play really great roles. I mean, their stories and their commentary during the documentary are really powerful. But one of the things that I do in the movie, I take the audience back into the 1960s, and we talk about reassessing the assassinations of the 1960s, because if our government was capable of doing those, of essentially assassinating a president of the United States of America, in this case John F. Kennedy, then what is it that they're possible? What is it that are capable of doing now, right? And we see it. Right? What we see right now is they're capable of. You can't kill a person anymore physically because it's so damn hard. What do I talk about? Yeah, right. It's beyond lawfare. It's beyond lawfare. I want people to, lawfare is a tactic. Okay, lawfare is a tactic. Lawfare is a means. It's like using artillery or using aviation to attack, a strong point of an enemy. But the overall strategy is to take over this country. And they're doing it through as many means, as many tactics as they possibly can. And one of the ways that they're doing it, like this tactic going against President Trump right now, going against a guy like me, taking out, narratively assassinating the national security advisor to a duly elected president of the United States. They did it. They did it very effectively. And now they're going after Donald J. Trump. And so far, they're being effective because they have isolated him. And they have divided the country. They have really divided the country. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that think, that Trump has clearly done something wrong, right? And this is foolish thinking, because this is how communism takes over a country. And what they do is they use the media, they use the intelligence community, especially the CIA. They use the FBI to weaponize, and we've all learned that word, weaponize. They have weaponized the United States federal government and agencies and activities in the federal government to target those who they are afraid of. Okay, evil. This is evil, folks. And I will tell you, and I'll finish with this and throw it back to you. In the long arc of history, good always triumphs over evil. The problem is it can take time. And right now we're almost into a decade of this crap. I mean, it really started with me, and I start the movie out in while I was still serving in Afghanistan. So this goes back even before 2016 and 2017. This goes way back. And people need to understand that what happened was Donald Trump got in the way of this takeover. The real idea was 8 years of Barack Obama, 8 years of Hillary Clinton, and the America First warehouse, and my buddy Joe the Box would be shut down and it wouldn't exist. That's what we're heading toward if we don't get this election right. Every presidential election is the most important in the history of everybody goes, oh, this election is the most important. This election, America, is the most historically consequential election in U.S. history. We don't get this one right, the United States of America is going to become the United Socialist States of America, and we will be done as a nation for a long, long time if we don't get this election right. And that's why, despite what they do to Trump, despite how many felony charges they throw at him, despite how many years that they're trying to put him in jail, this man, we have got to help him. We've got to We got to resurrect him. We got to put him up on a not a godlike pedestal. I'm not talking about that, but he is the one true leader right now that's already proven. And I could sit here and be very vindictive to Donald Trump. And I talk about this in the movie. And he and I know each other. He and I have spoken to each other. Saw him fairly recently down at his house in Mar-a-Lago. And so, but I'm not. And why am I not? Because I know what's best right now for this country. And what's best for this country is to get the best, strongest, proven leaders into these positions of authority so we can get this country back under control. Donald J. Trump is that for the presidency of the United States of America for this time in U.S. history. And we better get this one right.
General Flynn, I got to know your son a little bit years back at a Night for Freedom and hanging out with Jack Posobiec and him. What a great kid. Really fond of him. I just got back from the Trump trial about an hour ago from New York City. I cover it in Lower Manhattan. I thought it was so egregious. And I know Teresa has a couple of questions. I just wanted to throw this in. What the judge is doing and threatening Donald Trump with jail time because the fines weren't enough with the contempt and gag order. And, I was in the Soviet Union at 16 and 86 watching the tanks in the street, and they throw you out of 23-story buildings or put polonium-210 in your tea in London or whatever. But we're taking out our political opposition in this country, correct?
Every place we can, that the establishment, and I'm talking about the establishment, because the Republican Party, they're the worst ones, because they're talk about a Judas in our midst, right? I mean, the entire Republican establishment, I'm sick of them. I don't even talk about the Democrat Party anymore. The Democrat Party has been taken over by the progressive left Marxist movement in this country, and it's bigger than what most people think. I mean, what's happening on the streets of America right now, and I know, David, you do this, and I guess Professor Nick has been reporting on some of this at our college campuses, and will later on. I mean, what's happening, what's going on in the Middle East, and the kowtowing that the Obama administration did and the Biden administration did to Iran, and by giving them billions and billions of dollars so they can support these terrorist organizations and the Houthi rebels, Hamas, Hezbollah, and this war against Israel. Well, guess what, folks? I mean, it should not be surprising that Hezbollah and Hamas and their well-funded activists on the streets of the college campuses in America are here now. And so again, tactics lead to a successful strategy if you put them all together. And what they're doing right now, they're bringing them all together, and they're starting on the college campuses like they typically do. And now it's going to flow out into the streets of America as we go into the summer months. Do not think that this is going to end over a 3-day weekend here, folks. This is going to go on and on and on. The situation in the Middle East with Israel is dire. It is absolutely dire. And the situation on the streets of America is going to get worse. And this administration, do not count on this administration to do anything. In the meantime, David, to address your specific question, this judge and whoever's on the jury there, I mean, my God, these people, my guess is that they're going to convict Trump. This judge is going to put him in jail, and they're going to try to say, well, we want to be out on bail awaiting our appeal. And this judge is going to say no. I mean, I believe that. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm way wrong. But we are facing, and Trump is facing, but it's not just, and again, for you and your audience, and I'll get off my high horse here. People have got to stop saying, poor Trump and Trump. This is against us. This is against the American people. Trump is at the pointy end of the spear right now. And yes, he is the guy that we've got to get him over the line here and get him back into the White House so we can have some breathing room. But these people want to take over this country. They want to get rid of a guy like Trump. They want to get rid of a guy like General Flynn. They want to get rid of some of these other people that are in their way. And this is not just, I mean, where are the governors? Where are the Republican governors of this country standing up, talking like I'm talking right now? Where are the senators? Where are the members of the House of Representatives? They're all, whining about Mike Johnson. I mean, where are they screaming about Donald J. Trump right now, what a hit job this is. And so Where are they? They're nowhere to be found. They're all waiting. They're all waiting in the wings for something to happen. So somebody will go, oh, well, we're going to need you to run. I mean, there's too many of them. Believe me, folks, I think we have touched 36 states right now, 36 or 37 states. All the audience, and they're audiences of 300 or 400 people, but these are very, very, these are people that are switched on, and they're coming and they're watching this film and they're going, what the heck is going on with the Republican Party? And the answer is the Republican Party sucks. Yes. The Republican Party right now is filled with a bunch of establishment hacks, political hacks, who care less about Donald Trump. All they want is they want his endorsement so they can win their little race, so they can continue to fill their pockets with our taxpayer dollars. I'm tired of funding these wars overseas. I mean, I'll tell you one thing, it's not a minor thing. The streets of America, the actual physical streets of America are so pathetic, and yet we're going to spend $100 billion over in Ukraine. Yeah, no, believe me, I know. I know that area of the country well. I used to cut through from Connecticut going down south all the time, and God help me. I'll tell you what, it's worse out here. The infrastructure of this country. So that's just a minor thing, right? It's minor, right? It's not minor. It's not minor at all. It's all this. It's the invasion. It's the drugs. It's the lack of respect for our police and our law enforcement and our first responders. It's the lack of respect for our military right now. There's a total lack of respect by this administration in our military. And frankly, that now permeates down into our senior military, our uniform-wearing military officers, okay? I'm sick of them, too. I mean, these are people that should know better. Instead of shoving CRT and social emotional learning, there's no safe spaces on a battlefield. Give me a break.
That's right.
Anyway, you got me on my high horse. The America
well,
First Warehouse.
You're saying everything we love to hear.
I can't wait to get there on Mother's Day. We're going to be there Mother's Day for 2 showings. You guys, the only place in the country that we're doing 2 showings. And because you've been so great.
And Teresa has a question for you, and then she'll give us the details on the event,
yes,
right, for our audience.
We'll wrap up. I wanted to say I did learn a lot about your story back in 2020, and it was so intriguing. I can't wait to see it all come together in the movie, and for sharing those intimate moments with your family. I do agree that this election is going to change the trajectory of the United States, and I know a lot of us, I could speak for a lot of us here on Long Island, that we will go down fighting because I'm not ready to give up those freedoms. I am a single mom with 4 teenagers. I just pulled my kids out of school to homeschool them to touch on your point. And my kids have the utmost respect for our military and this country and God, of course. And we will get to the details for Sunday. But last question for you, and I'm not even sure if you know yet, when the tour is over, besides taking a much-needed, probably big rest, do you have any plans leading up to the election after the tour is over, or just taking it easy for a little bit?
Yeah,
out at the warehouse.
No, there's no rest for the weary here, folks. There's no sitting. I mean, if you need to take a break because you're having a down day like I am right now, I'm taking a break today. Yeah, but we're going to get right back on our horses here, and we're going to ride. And because of where you guys are at, there's something called America's First Battle. America's First Battle was fought by George Washington on Long Island, and God intervened then to save enough of his forces. George Washington knew then on the Battle of Long Island that he had to sacrifice a segment of his force to be able to deceive and to block the reconnaissance that the British were doing, so he could use the dark of night and the fog that came in that evening to escape, to be able to live to fight another day. And thank God that he did. And that's, we're going to be there on Mother's Day. And I think that what we need is the intervention of God Almighty at this stage. And so if there's anything else that I would, and that's why I love the America First Warehouse. I mean, if there's anything else that I would ask people to do is you better start praying. If you don't think you can do anything else, pray. And I'm not one to wear my faith on my sleeve, but I will tell you, the older I get, the smarter my father becomes. And I've studied everything that has to do with warfare, to include 5th generation warfare, which is what we are involved in. It is a war for the cognitive battle space, meaning it is a war for what is happening between our ears. And what is happening between our ears right now is we're being lied to, we're being deceived by our own government. And they are literally trying to destroy this country. I mean, this invasion that went on, we now have in terms of illegals in this country over the last 3 years, combined, they equal 36 of our states combined population. That's nuts. That's not incompetency, folks. That's intentional. That's purposeful. That's meant,
And it's
designed to destroy the culture of this country. So God bless you for pulling your kids out, your teenagers out, and homeschooling them. That's happening all over the country because the public school system, sadly, has completely failed. And I have been asked just to, what's next for me? I don't know what's next for me, but what I will tell you that I'm going to continue to fight the battle that I'm fighting. I'm on this purpose, purpose-driven mission that I'm on, and the movie gives me a way, a kind of a calling card to be able to tell a very powerful and accurate and truthful story that's very emotional. And I will tell you that if I could sprinkle fairy dust today on any part of the federal government, it would be to sprinkle it on the Department of Education, and poof, the Department of Education would go away because it is a useless organization.
Yeah. Amen to that.
General Flynn, we just had Joe the Box up here. If everyone's
I saw him. I love him.
Stage. Joe, you want to say a quick word to General Flynn, and then we'll wrap up, and Teresa will give the details for the day's event.
I will never quit. I will never give up. Our task and our passion is to save this country. We are side by side with you, General Flynn. So excited to have you come on board and hang out with us for 2 shows.
Yes.
I love it.
shows.
It's such an honor.
Yep,
Thank you,
I love
sir.
it. Listen, guys, you guys keep fighting, and don't worry about me. But if you're for the audience that's watching, what they can do is maybe just say a prayer for our safe journey on the roads of America. These horrible roads of America, the infrastructure. But I will tell you, the people that we're meeting, we're lighting fires everywhere, and these brush fires will burn brightly for a long, long time. And people in this country aren't about to give up the freedoms that we have always, always enjoyed, and millions have sacrificed for. So God bless you all, and we really look forward to seeing you on Mother's Day.
Thank you. And I just want to say we do have an in-house pastor who would like to meet you on Sunday, and on Thursday night we will ask her to say some extra prayers for your team as you travel this way.
Super.
General Flynn,
Thank you, General.
when you come Sunday, what are your preferred pronouns?
My preferred pronouns are
3-star general.
That's right. Get your ass in gear and let's get going.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes, yes.
I love it. You are a national treasure.
And as Teresa said before, WWG1,
Yes.
WGA, right?
It's tattooed on my body, and it really came from him. It's my motto now. We all got to do this together.
Exactly.
So.
It is a great motto. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great motto.
And I can't. Yeah, it's very exciting that I finally got to show you this. It was kind of a dream of mine.
Thank you so much,
yes,
General.
and we wish you a safe trip here on Sunday.
God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Get
you,
some
General.
rest today.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so, Teresa, you want to give
We
the
salute you.
details for the event?
Sure, I sure will. So this Sunday, May 12th, it is Mother's Day. And many people have been asking, why are we doing it on Mother's Day? And it just happened to work in the schedule of Flynn's, General Flynn's tour. And we didn't waste any time jumping on board. We were not going to say no to that. So a lot of us moms are going to be here very excited to see the General. We have 2 showings that day at 1:30 and 6:30 p.m. You can go on our website, www.theamericafirstwarehouse.com. You can go under the events tab, scroll down a little bit. You'll see actually these are official movie posters behind us. You'll see this graphic on our events page, and you'll be able to select the time slot you want to come. It is going to be a beautiful day here. We are, for the people that come all the time, we're going to be doing things a little bit different. We'll have a beautiful concession stand set up. We have the spot for the VIP people. There's still general admission and VIP tickets available. And you just saw General Flynn yourself. He's a very humble man who can't wait to see everybody. His team has been amazing to work with. And we're just so looking forward to Sunday. It's a dream come true.
Yeah, pretty concise, right? Pretty knows what he wants.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Gets right to the point. But that's what we expect of a general.
Absolutely. I want to thank Steve, Nick, Teresa, David Zere. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on Mommy's Day.
Yes, don't forget to buy tickets for Sunday.
And bring your mom.
Bring your mom.
God bless General Flynn.